Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to join with Spencer with her movie At Capacity. Let's take a look at the clip.
Something in the air has shifted.
Too much time online, little to no time in therapy. Most people are disillusioned by dating apps.
I'm not.
Word?
I see them as case studies. Data. I like studying people, making guesses, and seeing if I'm right. I usually am.
Spencer, firstly, welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you.
We'll never let you go. We'll always be supporting your work.
I love that. I love that. It's all I could dream for. Dream of.
Well, thank you so much for bringing this film. I was literally transfixed on this story, these characters, this everything. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
So At Capacity is about this relationship intervention that doesn't go as planned, and these two strangers end up spending an evening together. It's very serendipitous, very whimsical and unexpected.
I mean, I actually felt like I was the third wheel on this date. Like I just felt I was there, and I felt very awkward. But that was
That's
well
the
done.
intention, yeah.
It was okay, good, because I was like, I shouldn't really be here.
No, I get that a lot. People are like, I felt like I was eavesdropping on a couple on a first date.
And I couldn't help but be so nosy. I had to keep watching, but but no, thank you for that. I did feel awkward the whole time. It was great. But no, brilliant. No, it was really great credit to you because I was so intrigued by these characters. I love this relationship and this dynamic and this backstory. Where did this inspiration come for you in creating this project and developing these particular characters?
Well, I really needed something, I guess, warm and generous, and I had so many questions about the world and anxieties around it.
Yeah.
And wanted to make something that would kind of transmute, but also work through those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not finding the answers, but through the container of these two people having this conversation.
Yeah.
And I needed to synthesize what was happening in the world.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I had so many anxieties around the pandemic, the strikes, and wanted to create something that was nourishing, something that was warm, and I could also ask these questions, maybe not find the answers, but through the conversation between me and Ari, work it out.
Yeah.
And also I love romantic comedies, so I wanted to combine that with the witty dialogue of a Deborah Kahn show or an Aaron Sorkin show and put it all together.
And here's what you got. And here's, I felt a lot of comfort in as well as feeling awkward being in there on their, date. I felt very comforted also just because these conversations were being had, this dialogue that was being had, and it's so interesting, particularly over in recent years, just where you've got two people that both in their own context mean so well, but just kind of disconnect, but then, and they kind of overlap, and you're like, oh no, we've gone on an avalanche here, where are we going, what's happening, oh no, I feel uncomfortable, how do we rescue this, we're gonna hate each other, and then are we gonna be okay? And you took us all through that whole journey between their dialogue, but it was almost very healthy because I think a lot of people can relate to these characters as well as what you felt.
I found that I was having conversations with people where we shared a similar moral kind of tapestry of where we wanted to go. But it was a matter of, okay, we have different opinions on how we get there. Yeah. And something that's so interesting about today is the divide. I say there's this huge canyon between how we're getting information. And what does it look like if you're coming to the table with an idea, an ideology, and then somebody else is coming and you want to, they're a little disarming. Yeah. But sitting down and listening is important. Yes. More and more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting because obviously you did, by the way, as I said last night, your dynamic with each other was just like, you were just like so perfect together, the way you played off each other as actors, the conversation, it was all good. But then not your first time together, you found each other, right? Tell us about how you decided to also take on this great role, but then also work together as well.
When I was working on the script, started out as a kind of exploration of these young staffers, I knew immediately that I wanted to work with my classmate from the Yale School of Drama, Jake Ryan Lozano.
Yeah.
He was one of my first scene partners, and we've developed a really beautiful rapport.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew in taking on the role of writing and directing and being in this romantic comedy that really relies on chemistry, that I needed somebody I really trusted, and also someone who I knew would bring a nuance and a fun and a whimsy, but also like have that charm and that sex appeal too. So I really am so grateful for Jake, because at the moments where I had to step out and my stand-in was there and we were setting up shots, I knew that he was preparing, and I knew that he would bring to the table some offerings in the text. And even every day that we would sit down and he would be like, hey, what if he said it like this? Still maintaining the seed of what I wanted the character to bring to the table, but bringing his own insight. And so when I would step back in front of the camera, I knew we would just have a flow.
Yeah, I mean, it really felt. And so what is that dynamic then when you are directing, right? You know, and you're taking on that part, and then you're also in it. And how does that? Is there any tips you can tell people? What is that dynamic like? How does it look like? What do you do? Like you alluded to obviously the stand-in and what happens, but how then do you work with your partners, and especially in the directing sense?
So this was a great learning experience.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to give me information as I move forward in directing and writing and acting in projects, deciding, which project requires what of me. And the thing here was I really assembled a team of people that I knew we did the prep work to have a set that felt easy, that felt we could lean into flow and support and collaboration. And my DP, Cooney, I have to say, was essential in this. I brought him in early. He's somebody who's known me for years. He worked with my brother when I was younger and knew me mostly as an actor. So switching roles into the directing, he was just an essential and a valuable person to have with me. I sent him, I wanted it to be a really colorful film, so I was able to send him artwork. I went to museums, and we just had a long conversation around what does this look like? What do the shots look like? So that when we're on set, it's like I have a teammate, I have a partner in making sure we get everything done efficiently. Yeah. But I think at capacity, it was writer first, director second, actor third.
That's good advice. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I knew that I wanted the script to be really strong. So I had so many drafts of this. Yeah. And was really working with the nuance and the wit and the characters and the beats and making sure that the arc felt whole. Yeah. And looking back, I'm like, wow, I wasn't really I think the film is really great. I wasn't even firing on all cylinders as a director and an actor. So
what? I don't believe you.
No, I'm so serious. I'm really excited for my next projects because it gave me valuable information for what I need to do leading up to the production to really okay, this hat is going on now. So for my next project, I have some ideas around just the shots of one shots and really getting fun creativity in that directing aspect of it.
Well, I can say, to give you gratitude, you excelled at all three. Okay,
Thank you so much.
No, really, and you're okay. And the writing, but just writing. I love that you said writing was kind of one of the most important things for you, because the writing was really good and really important. And then there was so much conversation that you had in there that I really feel like our audience really appreciated, because you had this big, powerful job. You were your character. And and kind of having a conversation with someone who they want to talk to, they want to speak to, but they're in a different lane, and maybe the understanding of both are different. They've got to find this sort of jubilee middle ground, common ground between each other, right? That was really great to see that conversation unravel into what it did do. Yeah. So but you did great on all three. So
yeah, thank you so much. And that's not to diminish the work. Yeah. I'm very, very proud of this project. Good. And what excites me is that with each project that we work on, giving ourselves grace to know that we are continuously learning. And that's something I'm always going to take with me, where I'm just excited to make more. I'm very proud that this was the first container of a short film, and to take the seeds from that and move forward as a multi-hyphenate. Yeah. But I'm so grateful, for audiences receiving this film, because I had a writer come up to me at one of the film festivals that said it was delicate yet precise.
Ooh, what a quote.
I know.
Yeah, I love that.
I kind of sat there and I was like, well, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And so when I say I was a writer first on this, I'm so grateful that other writers and audience members are receiving the quality of the text.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I want to bring to the table, having Black, Brown, and Asian people.
Yeah.
Having the space to really use our words and use our language to go after, as characters and storytellers, what we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I feel like I get that from, you know, my inspirations like Rob Reiner and Deborah Kahn. I mentioned her earlier, but I love her. And Billy Wilder. You know, these people that are working with wit and dialogue, and I kind of want to infuse all of my projects with that.
Well, you're doing it already in your own right, Spencer, honestly. And I just wanted to not lose, also to add to what you just said, it was also beautifully shot as well. Like, I love the way that, I mean, firstly I felt like I was there, which I felt very awkward, but like at the same time, the way it flowed, the way it shot, the whole scenes, it just was very rich and really great to see on a big screen as well.
I love that you said rich, because one of the things I wanted it to feel was opulent.
Yeah.
Like very warm, the colors are vibrant, the sound is vibrant. And I started in high school, I was a photographer. So, yes.
All right. Yes. Quadruple threat over here, okay?
So, I feel really grateful, and I feel really grateful to have had a DP and first ADs and production team that was able to support this vibrant looking film.
Yeah.
We got a location that was in Richmond, Virginia. We shot over 3 days in Richmond.
That's where you're from.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And
was it nice shooting in the hometown?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such a vibrant film community there.
Huge.
That it's really nice to be able to be here in LA, but also have a home to go back to.
Yeah.
And we shot on the canal, which back in the day, my dad was a public servant, so he helped kind of build that canal. So that felt very...
Oh, okay, Dad, look at you. Oh, it's amazing.
So it felt very serendipitous in its own right.
Yeah.
And we filmed at Southern Kitchen, which is a local restaurant, and the jazz musicians in the back and the piano on the side. It was a really cool restaurant.
I love the jazz. It was so great. Oh, wow. Okay, we're all going to go there when we go to Richmond, Virginia too, okay?
It's so good. You have to eat there.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I'm really glad that I want to keep that language of rich, vibrant, opulent colors throughout. Like, have that be part of my language as a filmmaker.
I wasn't, as I said to you last night at the festival, I wasn't quite ready. I'm not ready to lose these characters. Like, I was just getting to know them, and I just felt they got taken away from me. So I'm glad to know what's next. What's going on next?
Well, it is a proof of concept.
Yes, it is, right?
So you'll be getting more of them.
Good.
I've written a feature film that's called Caught in the Middle of June that follows June Montoya, who is Ari's sister, as she plans this surprise birthday engagement for me and Ari.
Amazing.
And it's an exploration of healing one's grief in the way that June has had her heart broken, but she loves her brother, she loves her future sister-in-law, and goes on this journey of finding her own self-love. And what I love about the television shows, the films that I watch, is that they're filled with these beautiful, rich, nuanced ensembles. And that's what I bring to the table with Caught in the Middle of June. And that's what I planted the seed for in that capacity. Just this tonal, grounded world that also kind of lives in a whimsical space as well.
And I love that, because even in, you had obviously these two central characters, but I loved all your supporting ensemble characters as well, that they equally, and I was like, no, I want to get to know them more too.
I mean, Zainab and Joy and Selah, like the whole cast was really great. And Joy has become like family now, and Zainab was already like a little sister, so it's been a pleasure being able to include them in this and include them in the feature, hopefully. And hopefully build projects around them as well.
Yes.
I like to think that Caught in the Middle of June and At Capacity are this universe that I'm starting.
Work with your film family, like absolutely. Well, Spencer, I'm so glad you're a filmmaker. I really am excited for more of your artistic visions and your creativity and your storytelling. And just thank you so much for bringing At Capacity, and I'm so glad that we've got more to come.
I'm
thank
so
you very
grateful
much.
for this. It's been a really wonderful experience of getting to know everybody, and it really feels like I'm building out community that feels nurturing and grounded.
Yeah, we can't do this alone, can we?
No,
So,
we can't.
absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Spencer, everybody at Capacity.
Thank you.